Are you growing your pet waste removal business and planning on or already have multiple employees and hundreds of clients? If so, you're eventually going to need somebody to answer the phones for you. This is where an office employee comes in, or a CSR, customer service representative. This, for me, was one of the next scary hires, right? The first technician that you ever hired, the first time you put somebody on a payroll, the first time you're giving somebody a cut of your money and taking care of your clients is very scary. But I would say that right with it, maybe just under that, scary would be hiring a CSR. Not so much for the reasons of a technician. I was scared of hiring a technician because I didn't know how to pay somebody at the time. I was worried about them, stealing my clients or not doing a good job and losing clients, or the clients just not liking someone new in their yard that they didn't know because they got so used to me. Those are scary reasons for a technician. The scary part for me with hiring an office employee was more on the financial side of things, right? I can answer the phone, I can talk to people, I can sign people up, I can de-escalate a complaint, I can do all those things. And it was easier than me being out working in the field. But to scale a business, just like you eventually get out of the truck, you're going to eventually need to get off the phones. You need to hire somebody that is better at talking on the phone than you are. And you need to hire somebody that isn't working on growing a business and has more free time than you do, that they're just getting paid to talk on the phone. And you eventually will get to that point. The scary thing for me was the financial side of things. So today I'm wanting to kind of discuss how I was able to hire that position, how long it took me, and things that I've learned along with that. For those that don't know, my name is Justin. I am the owner of a pet waste removal company in the DFW area called Department of Duty. I've been in business for a little over 7 years. We are a 7-figure business. We have 8 technicians and I have 1 office staff. Basically right now he's an operations manager. So he is overseeing basically what a CSR does over all of our clients, signups, any complaints, cancellations, one-time visits. He's doing all the phones and texting. Plus he's also doing technician side of things. He's in the office, so he sees the technicians more than I do. He talks to them more than I do because a lot of it has to do with customers, whether it's cleaning a yard, locked gates, bees, dogs, things like that. He's also making sure we have all of our equipment that we need. The trucks are clean. He's doing all the things. And so I've kind of learned some things with that. I can take you back to the beginning on kind of how I did it, when I did it, things like that. Of course, there's always 2 ways to this, right? If you have money in your background, if you got another business, if you've got investors, if you've just done better financially than me, or you have lower expenses or no kids, this could be different for you. You could do it sooner. It's just all about, like I've said in other videos, make you a budget, use an Excel sheet. You can go to Etsy and you can buy pre-built Excel spreadsheets that are for budgeting. They have some that have literally tabs for your personal budget, your business budget. They speak to each other. They show you how much money you have, all those things. So anything that I say could be better, hopefully not worse, but it could be better or the same for you. I'm just going to give my experience. For me, the scary thing with hiring an office employee was just the simple fact that an office employee is not a revenue producing position. So when you're hiring technicians, you are growing a business, you are giving them a route, they're scooping the yards, we are charging the clients, they are bringing in revenue, you're paying them a piece of that, right? So I had another video where we talked about different pay types. To keep it simple with how my mindset worked on it, we'll just stick with say commission. If you're paying guys 30%, you know that no matter what, no matter how much revenue you bring in, no matter how many employees you have, or how many clients you have, you are going to lose 30% of your revenue to these employees, and it all works out, right? They are bringing in money, you're paying them money, it's 30%, it's what it is. When you get an office employee, you could argue that they're bringing in revenue because they're signing up clients. But a lot of the times they are, they're doing office work, they're doing computer stuff, they're doing back end things that isn't revenue producing. They're making sure the routes are set up, that the guys are doing the routes the way they're supposed to, and things like that aren't really revenue producing. They're just day-to-day operations. And so if you're paying them a good hourly wage, that could end up being 25 to 30%, right? So now if you have enough clients to have 5 employees and you're paying all of them 30%, and then you go and hire an office guy, it's going to raise that, 35, 38, maybe even, it might even put you at 40%, depending on how well you pay them. So it's going to raise that, and that you're going to take a hit. So that is the scary part about it. Is just like, do I just keep answering the phones and stay where we're at, or do I want to scale this thing and pay someone else too, so that I can work on other things that I don't even know I need to work on yet? You kind of learn more things that you needed to work on before, or that you have to start working on now once you hire that position. That really helps grow your business. I don't know, for me, the best way to explain it, I played a lot of video games growing up, especially role-playing games. And so I feel like business is just a video game. It's like you don't know all the things until you get to a certain level. And 5 employees is a certain level. 5 employees with an office person is a certain level. You learn new things, you get new tasks, things, you don't know what you don't know. They all come up later. And so if you're not at that point, just wait till you get there. Don't overwhelm yourself. But that, for me, that was a scary thing. It was just that it's not a revenue producing position, 100% of the time. And so it is a bigger expense. For me, getting the first guy, being able to afford the first guy it was between 6 and 7 employees. 6, 7, don't say that. And I know I want to be more help, and I said this in another video where I was like, it was God, growing me based off of what I could handle. And with my office employee, I'm sorry, but it was the same thing. I can't remember exactly, this was like 2 years ago, but I had 5 or 6 technicians, and I want to say I had an Indeed ad out, and I got a phone call, someone looking for a job, and we ended up talking on the phone for like an hour, hour and a half. I remember I pulled over, I was running a route even, it put me way behind, but I pulled over at this car wash parking lot just to talk to this guy, because immediately I was like, and I was scared, because I'm like, I'm hiring for a technician, and this guy does not sound like a technician that I've talked to before. He's not gonna do this. He sounds great, we hit it off, but I'm not gonna know him for very long because he's not gonna do this. And so for me, it was just like that perfect timing. And I ended up just being straightforward with him and said, hey, this is what the job is. I even went and picked him up, and I said, let's go do 2 or 3 yards, because I don't know if you understand exactly what this is. And I'm gonna show you, like literally stand next to me, and I'm gonna pick up piles of poop with a rake and throw them into a bucket that's gonna have smears on it, and we're gonna tie it up, and we're gonna smell it when we tie it, and you're gonna see what we do. And I even called my wife afterwards, and I said, this might be a waste of time, but I just talked to this guy. He sounds like he could potentially be one of those, an office position if we ever get to that point. But I'm gonna go pick him up, and I'm gonna take him to do a couple yards, and I'm gonna go drop him off, and we'll see how it goes. And so basically what I did, and it worked out, but I've always, I have a dream of growing really big. And so for me, it was just letting him in on that. And I said, look, I don't know when it's gonna be, but I do know that I'm growing this business. I'm gonna grow it as big as I possibly can. And so I know that with that, I'm going to have basically an office employee, somebody that is not scooping every day, somebody that is overseeing the operations of technicians, someone that's doing customer service stuff. You're in an office, you got a computer, and all the things, you're not picking up crap. And he was like, well, that's what I want to do. And I said, okay, well, that's coming, but I don't know when. I don't know if it's 3 months from now, we could snowball. I don't know if it's 6 months from now. I don't even know if it's 2 years from now. I don't want you to get into this and then hate me if it is 2 years, because I'm not a future teller. I have no answer. I have no idea how long it's going to take. And he completely understood. And I found out later on that he was even calling friends and was like, I don't know how long I'm going to do this. Pray for me. You know, I'm not cut out for this. This isn't the kind of work I want to do. He's cut out for it. He does a very good job scooping all the things, but it's just, it's, you know, he's been a manager at other companies. He's worked at other places that were way higher end than my company. And so it was just not, what's the better word? He was overqualified, right? So he was overqualified for the position. That's what it boils down to. But he took the position with the trust in me that I would do everything that I could to grow my company, which I was already doing. But now he's taking trust that I'm doing it also for him and to get him into this position as fast as possible. And so that's how it happened for me. It was looking at spreadsheets, looking at numbers, and, you know, doing it and figuring it out. When is it going to happen? You know, we would get 30 clients. Then the next month we'd lose 10 clients, and then we'd get 50 clients, then we'd lose 20, 30 clients, and I'd get close to it, and then I'd lose it. And I just kind of keep telling him, like, I mean, there were nights that he would work till 9 o'clock at night scooping yards. There were times that he would fill in for people when they left early or when they got sick. He put in a lot of grunt work that he was overqualified for. And I just got lucky in that he stuck it out. I want to say it was, I think it was less than a year. I think it was like 8 to 9 months that he scooped. I think we even got to a point where I wanted him to start getting experience with the phone stuff and seeing routes and all that he was actually scooping yards and answering the phones like what I was doing as a business owner. He was at one point doing it as well, just so we could transition to this. It wasn't just like I woke up, hired a guy, put him in position, did it. I don't have finances like that. So mine was like everything with, if you watch my other videos, hiring technicians, it was a transition. I had to grow to it, and then I did it. So it took about 8 to 9 months. And I remember I told him one day, I said, we did it. I'm hiring a new guy. You're going to train him. And then he is taking over your route, and you will not be scooping for a couple of days. No. But it will not be your primary position anymore. And that was a very exciting day. And so getting back to it, for me, it was about, I think it was between 6 and 7, maybe closer to 7 employees. Like, I think I got him at 6. Like, I got the 6th guy. He was the 6th. I brought in the 7th. That became the 6th tech. And then he was my 7th employee, but I had 6 technicians for it to make sense. And I was, you know, borderline not making any profit. You know, it's another thing where we went like this, then we went like this, because now he's making money off of, you know, the 6 revenues that were being brought in were being paid, and now there's still 6. Now there's a 7th, and so it kind of dipped, and then we just grew. It's about that 7th tech was when I was like, okay, now it's making sense. Now there's enough profit coming in that your position makes sense, and we're back to where we were on the profit level. So that's why I say it was right between that 6 and 7. We hired him at 6. It made sense at 7. But yeah, so that was my experience. You know, I don't have money in the, you know, my background backing me up. I don't have investors. I don't have loans. I don't have any of those things. And so it might sound like it took a long time. It might sound like I did it for a lot longer than you want to, but that's what it takes. If you're bootstrapping your company and you're doing everything yourself and you're literally growing by very little money into marketing, a lot of word of mouth, a lot of posting in Facebook groups, all of the money that your company makes is either paying employees or paying your bills or your company's bills. Nothing's left over. That's how I did it. 6 technicians, moved them over, hurt my bank account for a little while. 7 technicians, we're doing good. Now we're at 8. We just got 8. So it's like I said, it's slow. I mean, this isn't nothing that happens overnight. You're not going to grow $1 million business overnight unless you have a lot of money backing you up to invest. into marketing, basically. So yeah, somebody asked me that, how do you get an office employee? And that's how you do it. That's how I did it, at least. So if you like it, if you like this, if you learn anything from it, please like it, at least like it. Comment on it if you're not afraid of putting yourself out there, and let us know what you thought about it. Definitely subscribe to the channel, turn on some reminders, because we're gonna be putting out more videos and letting you know everything that I know. You're basically picking my brain without having to ask me any questions. I'm just gonna tell you what I know and what I think you might wanna know. So hope you liked it. Thank you. See you on the next one.